From creekside camping, to weathering a storm, to drying out in comfort. 3 nights, 3 different adventures.
Well, Dolly and I are in the Ozark National Forest today. Had a pretty good drive today. Got here kind of late. We're at Richland Creek. Looked for a dispersed campsite along Richland Creek for a pretty good while, and I found was probably the best one, the first one I came to, and I passed on it, and we did a lot of driving. And I'm afraid if I go back there, it's gonna be taken, and then I'm gonna have to come all the way back here. So we're just gonna camp here tonight. We are actually at Richland Creek Campground, only people here. Starting to get late, so we're gonna get camp set up and settle in for the night, and I'll show you around Richland Creek, which is really a beautiful spot, and the campground tomorrow, it's really remote, so it should be a really quiet night tonight. Let me show you around our camp real quick. Number 8, we're camped here. Vault toilets here. They do have a place where you can fill up your water jug during the summer. It's valved out now. This is December. This is our camp. Pretty basic camp. That is Richland Creek. It's a nice little creek. And this is a secluded campground. It's really in the middle of nowhere. Ought to be a nice quiet night tonight. I'm gonna have to get after it and get camp set up and show you around in the morning. Well, this is the campsite that I was telling you about last night that I probably should have stopped at. First one I came to, man, I almost camped here, and I wish I would have now. It's a beautiful spot. It's off the road just a little bit. You got a little small screen of brush that's between you and the road. I mean, you can still see traffic, but it's got a trail that goes down to a beautiful spot on the creek. It's got a nice fire ring. It's a really nice campsite, and it's right near Falling Waterfalls. Well, this campsite is a great find. I've marked it on my map, and the falls were really nice. I bet after a rain, they are really something to see. Well, we're gonna head towards Illinois Bayou. I'm really not sure what the plans are. It's about 11 o'clock now. It'll be about 1 when we get there, noon or 1. And there's weather moving in, so I need to get where I can check a forecast and kind of get a game plan for tonight. Anyway, we are getting back on the road. Well, we've made it to the end of the Forest Service road that we were on that runs alongside Illinois Bayou, the middle fork of the Illinois Bayou. And this is really a nice spot. You gain elevation as you come down the road. This is a good level spot. It's high above Illinois Bayou, but man, you got really good views of the ridge line, the opposite ridge line. Really nice spot, and you're probably 3 or 4 miles back in here, so it looks like this spot doesn't get much use. I'm going to mark it on my map. This is one of the type of places that I would love to camp at. I would love to camp here tonight, but got the rain coming in tonight, and we're pretty close to Bayou Bluff Campground, and they have some old CCC built shelters that Tina and I have camped at before, and Dolly and I are going to try to weather this rain in those shelters tonight. So we're gonna head back that way and get camp set up. Well, this is home for tonight. We're gonna get set up, eat some lunch, and I'm gonna show you around. This is really a cool spot, and I'm hoping this will keep us sheltered from the rain that's coming tonight. Well, let me get settled in and I'll show you around. Well, I've had lunch and I've unpacked everything, got it set up in the shelter, and cleaned up a little bit. Let me show you this shelter. Each of these 3 shelters that are in Bayou Bluff Campground has a fireplace, concrete floor, just a really cool stonework structure. It's got log beams to support the ceiling. And each of these 3 has a picnic table and a fire ring. Well, it was a pretty rainy night last night. From about midnight on till about 9 o'clock this morning, it rained and rained. So just now getting around, I did set the tent up, and I'm glad I did because the wind blew some rain in here, and the whole concrete floor is wet in this little shelter. I have a fire going. I've got most of the gear loaded up. Most of the camp is broke. I'm going to cook some breakfast before we head out, and the main focus today is to dry our gear out. Need to get our gear dried out today. So we're going to eat breakfast, and then we're going to roll out of here. Well, Dolly and I are leaving Bayou Bluff Campground. It was a perfect place to spend a rainy night and a rainy morning. We've had breakfast. All our gear is pretty damp, so there's another place I've always wanted to try out, and we're going to have an opportunity to do that this evening. So that's where we're headed, and just got a few miles to go. Be a few hours to get there. Well, a pretty long day. We stopped at a couple places along the way, and then we had an accident on Highway 7 that held us up for a pretty good while, but we finally made it to our destination. Let me show you around a little bit. This is a really cool spot on Lake Ouachita State Park. This is a camper cabin, and there are 4 of them here. Just a no frills cabin, but it's going to be perfect for me tonight to kind of get my stuff dried out, charge everything up. But it's got a fire ring, picnic table, lantern pole, barbecue grill. It's got water, no restroom facilities or no running water in the cabin. Come on, Dolly. Come on, Dolly. But screened in porch with a ceiling fan. Come on, Dolly, let's go. You're holding up the show. Let's go. Screened in porch with a view of the lake. That's pretty cool. And like I said, cabin's just basic cabin. Concrete floor, air conditioning and heat, full-size bed, bunk bed, some tables, and that's it. But it's going to be perfect for tonight. I've got to get my tent set up, let it dry out, and just go ahead and make the bed. I got a sheet to put on the bed. There's no linens provided with the camper cabins. And get a shower, and then we'll start dinner.
Cover time.
The Rocky Mountains is the marrow of the world. By God, I was right.
Yes, you were.
Well, I enjoyed the warm night in the cabin, and we got to dry our gear out a little bit. But it's time to move on. If you want to follow along on our adventures, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.